My fiancé went live and said, "Can't wait to marry this fool and take half." So I canceled the wedding while thousands watched her world fall apart. I was 24 when everything fell apart in a way I never thought possible. I was sitting in my room, working on my laptop, when I heard my fiancée, Madison, start her live stream in the next room. She always did that on Wednesdays around 4 p.m. She'd been building her social media following for a year now, mostly sharing workout routines, makeup tips, and little life updates. I never thought too much of it. I even helped her sometimes. Bought her a ring light, helped set up her camera, and let her use the spare room for streaming. We'd been together for 2 years, engaged for 6 months, and planning a spring wedding. I trusted her. I loved her. I thought she felt the same. That day, I was getting ready for a late work meeting when I heard her voice through the wall. She sounded happier than usual, laughing with her viewers and telling them about our wedding plans. First, I smiled. I thought it was cute. But then I heard her say something that made my hands freeze over the keyboard. She said, "You guys are gonna love this. So, I'm marrying Ryan. He's in tech, makes really good money, and he's so sweet and naive." My heart started beating fast. I sat back in my chair, trying to convince myself that she was just joking around. But then she said it again, called me naive. "He doesn't even talk about prenups." She laughed. "I'm telling you, I just have to stay married for a few years. And boom, I get half. Half his salary, half his savings, half his bonus checks. It's gonna be so worth it." Couldn't believe what I was hearing. I thought maybe I misunderstood, that she was being sarcastic. But then came the sentence that broke me completely. She laughed louder, leaned into the camera, and said, "I can't wait to marry this fool and take half." And everyone in her comments started laughing along. Some were sending laughing emojis, some saying, "Girl, secure the bag," and others just egging her on. It was like watching a nightmare play out while I was still awake. I pulled out my phone, opened Instagram, and went to her live. I needed to see it with my own eyes, not just hear it through the wall. And there she was, smiling, playing with her hair, acting like the whole thing was some big joke. But I wasn't laughing. I typed one sentence in the comments that changed everything. "Joke's on you. The wedding's canceled." I hit send. It showed up instantly. She saw it. She read it out loud. And then her face changed completely. She froze. Her smile dropped. Her hands started shaking. "Ryan," she whispered. "Wait, are you watching?" She tried to play it off, started saying things like, "It was just a joke, guys," and "He knows I'm just messing around." But her voice was breaking. She ended the stream seconds later. Then I heard her running toward me, knocking on the door. "Ryan, please let me explain," she said. I didn't answer. I packed a small bag, grabbed my wallet and laptop, and walked past her without saying a word. Her eyes were red, tears streaming down her face. "It was for content, Ryan. You know what I do. It's just online stuff. I didn't mean it like that." I stopped at the door and looked at her one last time. "You meant every word," I said quietly. "You just didn't think I'd hear it." She tried to grab my arm, tried to pull me back, but I pulled away. "Wedding's off. We're done." I left the apartment. I drove to a friend's place and slept on his couch. My phone was blowing up all night. Calls, messages, voicemails from Madison begging me to talk to her. Then her parents messaged me, saying I was overreacting, that she was just trying to be funny. But it wasn't funny. It was cruel. And it was planned. She had it all figured out. Marry me, use me, leave me, and take half of what I worked for. I canceled everything the next morning. Called the venue, called the caterer, contacted her bridesmaids, and told them it was over. I closed our joint account. Everything I had put into that wedding, time, money, energy, was gone. But I didn't care. I was just glad I found out before signing the marriage papers. Glad I heard the truth before it was too late. A few days later, someone uploaded a recording of her live stream online. It went viral. People were commenting on how cold and calculated she sounded. Some defended her, saying it was just a skit, or she didn't deserve to be humiliated. But most people saw it for what it was. A woman who thought she could play a man and get away with it. I didn't respond to anything. I didn't post. I didn't explain. I just stayed quiet, moved out and started over. Madison still tries to reach out sometimes. Sends long emails, apologies. I miss you messages. But I don't answer. I don't hate her. I just don't trust her. And trust, once it's broken, never comes back the same. A few weeks passed, and I slowly began putting the pieces of my life back together. I moved into a smaller apartment across town, one where her scent didn't linger on the furniture, where her voice didn't echo in the halls. I changed my number, blocked her on every platform, and focused on myself. It wasn't easy. There were nights I sat alone with a cup of cold coffee, wondering if I was too harsh, if maybe there was a sliver of truth in her tears. But every time that doubt crept in, I'd remember her words, "Can't wait to marry this fool and take half." Not said in anger, not said in pain, said with a smile, with confidence, while thousands watched. That was who she really was. I started going back to the gym, hanging out with friends I had neglected during the relationship, rebuilding my routine one step at a time. And as I did, I noticed something strange. I didn't miss her. I missed the idea of her, the future I thought we'd have. But her, the real her, the one who could publicly humiliate someone who loved her, that woman was a stranger. Eventually, the storm around the viral clip faded. People moved on, as they always do. But the lesson stayed with me. Now, when I meet someone new, I look deeper. I listen closer. I don't just fall for the smile or the sweet words. I pay attention to the small things, how they treat people who can't do anything for them, how they talk about others when they think no one's listening. And I never forget how fast a life you built with someone can shatter if the foundation was never real. I'm not bitter anymore. I'm wiser. And honestly, I'm grateful. Because that pain showed me exactly what I deserved. And it wasn't a woman who could laugh at me while plotting my downfall. It was peace. It was truth. And someday, maybe, it'll be someone who would rather build with me than take from me. So yeah, that's how I found out my fiancée was just playing a role. And I canceled the wedding right as thousands watched her mask slip in real time. I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I just walked away and left her there, surrounded by the echoes of her own betrayal. Maybe one day she'll understand what she lost. But by then, I'll be long gone, living a life she'll never deserve to be part of. Hit that subscribe button for more stories like this. And remember, sometimes walking away is the most powerful thing you can do.